Oh, you know, one day I'm just going to stop. Welcome to the watch along. I'm Mark Goldbridge. It's Man United against West Ham. I've muted myself. I think, you know what? If I mute myself on the next show, I quit. Like, make it a thing. If Goldbridge is muted on his next live stream, I quit. There's just no point. It irritates me. It irritates you. We just quit. So 2 down, third one. If it's muted, I'm walking. I'm finished. I'm doing a Piers Morgan. I'm walking out. I'm just getting very tired of it myself. I can only apologise. I'm letting myself down. I'm letting you down. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting my friends down. I'm just going to leave it there because if I say what I really think, I'd probably slap myself across the face. It's not acceptable at this level, and I really apologise for it. So yes, welcome to Manchester United against West Ham. El Classico is going to be going on in about 3:15 as well. We'll keep an eye on Spurs Palace. Apparently Spurs are very much they're very much changed from what their normal lineup is. I think we've gone. I mean, there's a few questions. I don't know. Thank you everyone who's tuning over from the fan forum, but there are a few questions I would pose straight away. Why is Mazraoui starting? I don't get that. He's definitely in the red zone. He had to go off after 60 minutes on Thursday. I'm a little bit worried about that one. Apart from that, I like the team. I think I do like the team. I like the front three. It's good to see Mason Mount starting. Bruno, Mainu, Agate, Ahmad on the right-hand side, Amas, Luke Shaw starting as well, Yoro central, you rest Casemiro, you rest Dorgu, you're resting Maguire. So, yeah, I'm happy with Garnacho gets a rest as well. So, I am really happy with the team, but I am with Alex Thomas. Pray for Mazraoui. That's all. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that worries me a little bit is a player like that is going to be very, very important in a final like that against Spurs. And obviously it's going to be touch and go whether De Ligt's involved. So, I really do. I just don't want to see him getting injured when Amarim has admitted that he is in the red zone. So that's all I would say about that. But look, I expect to see a good... You know what? I think I was talking about this on the morning show, how Paul Scholes was moaning about, you know, not Man United not taking the Premier League seriously. And I think that's because we've got to prioritise the Europa. And I think that that's absolutely fine. But I think today, with the Europa League coming up very, very soon, I think that there will be a focus on players trying to, you know, put themselves in the shop window, so to speak. It's a 2:15 kickoff. Weird kickoffs today. I've got Newcastle-Chelsea on. 3 minutes to go. Chelsea are losing 1-0. 10 men. Seems to be the weekend of getting red cards for elbows, doesn't it? So maybe be a little bit careful of that. But... yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Don't know what the such a drag means. Maybe somebody can tell me. It's always great when people come across from the forum. But context is key on some of these. I need to have context. Ryan Harris, you're just wasting a super chat. I won't answer that question. So you're wasting your time. Are you hoping for a big wide on today, Mark? Okay, it's definitely Sunday. Weird. Okay. Look, super chats, as I've said before, they're not always going to get read when they're like that. Yeah. Look, if there's such a drag comment is that people are not ready to play this game or looking forward to this game, then I would say, why do you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch pre-season games against LA Galaxy? They're completely meaningless. There's no jeopardy. It's 45 minutes for the best players and 45 minutes for the kids. But we'll all be going, oh yeah, can't wait for this at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if that's a drag, well, if that's not a drag, how is this a drag? I mean, this is a week and a half out from the Europa League final. Some of these players are playing for their place. Mason Mount, Mainu, Ahmad, Agate, Amas, Shaw. These players can put themselves in a position to play in the final. I don't think Garnacho's guaranteed. I think there's a lot of people who are not guaranteed to start this final. So this is the last home game before that final. And I don't see it as a drag. It's a Premier League game, and I think it's an opportunity for Manchester United to get 3 points. And I don't know... Whoa, what a goal. What a goal for Newcastle. Bit of a deflection. Bruno G, 2-0. I think it caught a deflection there. But, yeah, it's an opportunity. And a Man United winning the Premier League is a bit of a thing. 1080 Pixel says, couldn't resist. Thank you, pal. What's wrong with Mazraoui? Says off the post. Ask Beth about such a drag. I will do. And score predictions, I think 3-0 mark, says Dylan. I'm going to go 2-0 to United. Harry Amas does well. Come on, United, all the best, Marky, says Tom. You tell you what, I woke up this morning. I did the morning stream. And straight after the stream, my nose was going like mad. Like I had hay fever. Went out and watched Seb play football. Not a problem at all. Came back, sitting here, and it started again. What's that all about? Anyone who's medically minded? How is it I can be outside and I haven't got the symptoms, and I'm in here where I stream all the time, and twice in a day I'm getting symptoms of hay fever in my room, which I stream in all the time? Weird. I just thought I'd put that out there. Hi, Mark. In this lineup, do you think Bruno might hold back in that position next to Agate and Mainu probably push into the 10 during the game, says Hamza? I think that is an interesting concept. Yeah, I think it is. Mould or dust allergy, says Thomas. I think it might be dust, actually. I do need to have a little bit of a dust and what have you, because I think that's probably a fair point, come to think of it. It's not a cat allergy. There's no pussy in here. Cat. People are saying unprofessional Beth. Beth sacked. What's all this drags thing? I'm going to find out. We'll find out. Pep is a fraud. I love the guy, but my goodness, his teams are completely spineless without an overwhelming advantage. The Second City Saint. I don't know about you or the community, but I like watching the youth play, says Brandon. It's something different. Let's just hope we can pull this Tottenham win off, says Brandon. And also, could it not be delayed from when you were outside, says Rocco. Let's go back to what Hamza was saying, though, about Bruno in this system. Obviously, it's got Mainu there, but it easily could be Bruno. So hopefully that will see Mainu on the attack a little bit more. Look, I think with Mainu, with Mount, with Ahmad, with Amas, with Luke Shaw, there's 5 players in that team, potentially Agate as well. 6 players in that team that you just want to see them playing well. You just want to see them performing, because I think all of those players are not necessarily I don't think Amas will start the final anyway, if I'm being completely honest. But all the others have got a chance. But I don't think Mount's necessarily in the team for the final, and I don't think that. I think Ahmad's got a good chance, but it's all about staking your claim, isn't it? Really. Let's have a look at the West Ham side. Where is it? There we go, West Ham. So West Ham are lining up like that. Areola, Todibo, Kilman, Cresswell, Kufal, Rodriguez, Ward-Prowse, Soucek, Wan-Bissaka, Bowen, Kudos. I mean, they're having a bad season. They probably shouldn't be where they are, but maybe we and Spurs shouldn't be where we are. The Premier League is strong this year. I don't think it's acceptable with the side that Man United have picked today. I don't think it's acceptable for us to lose today. I know people can go, and I have said it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't matter in the context of our priority is the Europa League. But, I figured the Beth thing out now. So Beth says, the show ended and I said to Mauds that the Premier League games are a drag now towards the end of the season, and my mic was still on, even though I was told we had ended. Okay. It's her AFTV moment. Can't you remember that happened on AFTV, where somebody thought they weren't on mic and then they were saying about, I can't remember what it was, something about super chats or something like that. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's created a talking point. Are the Premier League games a bit of a drag now? I can understand why they are for some people. It's a lovely sunny day in the UK, and I would rather be in a beer garden eating a burger. But I also love watching Man United play, and in a week and a half, we've got such a big game. The unofficial coach in me kicks in, and I'm looking at players going, you've got an amazing chance here. I'm starting to think, what's the best team that we're going to pick in the final? And if I was picking the final now, I probably would play Bruno, Garnacho, Agate, Casemiro as the midfield four. However, Mount, Ahmad, Mainu, I think could force their way in there. So for me, I'm looking forward to it. And as I said, I think the Wolves game at home, the Bournemouth game, the Brentford game, I get it. Those semi-finals were over 2 legs with a Premier League game sandwiched in between them. That's a little bit different to today. We don't have a Europa League game on Thursday. We've got a Europa League game a week on Wednesday. We've got a game today, we've got a game on Friday, and then we've got a game on the Wednesday. I see these 2 games as games that we shouldn't be losing. We should be using these games as really competitive markers for the final. So I'll say it here right now. I would not be, here we go, Beth sacked, says G. I would say right here, right now, if we were to lose this game like we lost the game to Wolves, I would actually come on and say, I'm not happy about that, because I don't accept that from the players at the moment, considering so many of you don't know whether you're starting in the final. So I want to see a performance today. I really, really do. It's a good pre-final warm-up, says Dowell. Yes. I think we are a dying... Martin Saunders says, I think we're a dying breed. I don't get the moaning twats. I love Man United and watch the good times and the bad. EC says, did not grow up playing. Can you explain if Rasmus should be more of an aerial header threat given height or not his job? EC gave us a super chat there. I have to take a moment. Should Rasmus be more of an aerial threat, or is that not his job? I think it's hard to gauge if he is an aerial threat without putting the right type of cross into the box. I mean, if I put 6 crosses into the box at head height a game and he doesn't get on the end of them, then I'm not happy. But I don't think we do that enough. So it's hard to say whether he's an aerial threat or whether he should be an aerial threat, because we rarely put the cross into the box for that type of a header anyway. So I'd say it's open, that question. Wash your face from the pollen you've collected, says Troy T. Thank you very much for that. Sometimes it takes a while for you to feel the symptoms. It's like when you sleep fine but you wake up with hay fever, says Nigel. And if you have windows in your room open, then having them closed makes it worse, says Hyans. Thank you very much for that. Pep is a fraud. I love that I've done that one from Second City Saint. Thank you very much. So Newcastle have won their game. They've beaten the mighty Chelsea 2-0. The top 5 race is very interesting with regards to that. Romano says, Beth's on the verge of a P45, says Chris. And leave her alone. She'll be on the way. Lovely Old Trafford today. Lovely sunny day. It will be a nice Sunday afternoon watch along, hopefully. Bartley says, the missus is cooking and I'm watching United stand. Thank you very much, Bartley. Hope you're doing well. It's like a school playground in that chat. Chill out, kids. Someone said something and you've gone all straight to the headmaster's office, says Nick P. Mate, I think it's funny. I'm not interested. I'm not bothered about it. I just wondered what the context was. Can't believe how immature some people are in this chat are, says. Well, it is Toxic Sunday as well. I think we have to remember that. Place your bets. Don't place your bets. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. You're all very welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always. Hi, Mark. Do you think we're seeing Chelsea Mount last couple of games? Says Dylan. I think in relation to Mason Mount, I mean, I'm not surprised that we're talking about Mason Mount 10 minutes before kickoff. He's starting the game. I think that in relation to Mason Mount, my feeling is this, that he is a player that Ruben Amarim clearly likes. You could see his satisfaction with the goal last Thursday night. But I don't think he's the Chelsea Mason Mount, no. I think it's just naturally what some people do when they're pleased for somebody and they get hyped by somebody. That's not the Chelsea Mason Mount at all. The Chelsea Mason Mount was doing it week in, week out, Champions League final, playing for England. So he's not the Chelsea Mason Mount at all. He will not be the Chelsea Mason Mount unless he starts game week in, week out and gets his sharpness up. And that's the concern I think we all have. How fit will he be? How long can he stay fit? So I think him starting games like Brentford and today, we're gradually building him up. I don't know whether they're still thinking about the operation or not, but my feeling and fear with Mount is that he's going to pick up an injury at some point very soon. I just hope he can make it to the final. Yeah. Beth will be in the summer transfer market, says Nigel. Chuff Monsters, buddy, says Lee Cape Town. I'm going for a 2-1 win and Mazraoui shouldn't be playing, says Nathan. Well, we spoke about that at the start of the stream. If you are tuning in, Mazraoui starting for Manchester United. Let's just go back to the team on the screen. Mazraoui starting for Manchester United is somewhat perplexing because he didn't start last week against Brentford. He only played 60 minutes against Bilbao. And then 2.5 days later, he's starting in a game where I would never have predicted that. I would have said Mazraoui gets the weekend off and plays against Chelsea, and it's right, you know, he basically gets 6 days off. You play him against Chelsea, and then he gets another 5 days off because it's Friday night to Wednesday. I did not expect him to play today. So if he picks up an injury, I'm sorry, this is completely and utterly on the coaches and Amarim, isn't it? So they know more than us, though. I'm sure he's going to be fine, but from what we've been told and the way that we've been treating him, I just wouldn't have played him. I really wouldn't. Robert McCormack says, I think he wants someone he trusts at the back. Nikki says, yeah, I know, I agree with that, Robert, but why take the risk? We need him in the final. He's too important. Nikki says you should get a little portable setup for streaming outside on days like this. It wouldn't be very nice. Curious Watchman said, I'm disabled and my life is quite hard. You and this channel have got me through some difficult times. Thank you so much for making my day better. Thank you very much, pal. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Chelsea in crisis video later. It's probably too early for Melbeck, but cheers anyway, says Jimmy Kudo. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Chelsea is still fine. I think they've got 2 games left. One of them's against us. I think that'd be you know what? Talk about West Ham. Obviously, we're going to be watching the West Ham game in a minute, but I think that Chelsea game is good. I think that Chelsea game's a good game for us on Friday. It's 5 days from the final. They're desperate to win. I think it's a really good warm-up for us. We certainly, I mean, look, I don't know what Amarim's going to do, but I don't think we should be going there and, you know, throwing the game by any stretch of the imagination. I think we've got to go there and give them a game. I mean, look, in relation to Chelsea, in relation to Tottenham, who are our finalists, they're playing against Crystal Palace at the same time as us. Their team's a joke today. He's made loads of changes, like Kinski in goal, Spence has come back in, Davies and Danzo at centre-back, Sarr and Gray in the midfield, Tell and Odebear starting. So he has made a raft of changes for this game. Basuma, Johnson, Romero, Solanke, Son, Vicario, Van der Ven, Richarlison, all on the bench. So, yeah, he's completely and utterly gone the other way and rested a lot of players. Welcome to the Members Club, Fun 882. And any news on when Xerxes back, says Dylan. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. We will read those out. I think that with regards to Xerxes, as I said yesterday, it's nearly a week away, the final. He can't be involved in that game unless he's on the bench. Like, what is our bench today? I haven't even looked at that. But like, you're not back. Like for me, I'll get my words out. If you're back for the final, it means you're in contention to start. Being back for the final, like I'm on the bench for 5 minutes, doesn't really help me. Like if De Ligt's back and Delot's back, I want them to be able to start. If they're back for the bench, the game's gone before I need you. So I don't really get massively excited about Xerxes might be back because it's a week and a half away, and he ain't going to start. So he's not back, is he? Really? The bench for United, no Garnacho is there. Casemiro, Eriksson, Dorgu, Fredrickson, Garnacho, Heaton, Maguire, Lindelof, Obi. So no real surprises on the bench there. No shock, De Ligt or Delot or anything like that. Rub says, Mount, football, Champions League, nothing matters. I'm going to enjoy the sun. Jokes from Mark. Fuck this Chelsea board and all those prats, says Rub. All the first players must only play 45 minutes, please, says Tammy. And please wish my wife, Kitra, a happy Mother's Day, says Joshua there. Is it Mother's Day in different countries at different times then? I like the team selection, says Mariaki. We need Heaven back. Yeah, he's still injured as well. Thank you. Mark, Xerxes won't be back. He told Alphonso Davies yesterday he was trying to be back, but won't happen. Alfonso called him during the live stream. He's not going to be back anyway. We spoke about this yesterday. If you're not back ready to start, I don't really think you're back. Sorry if you've already answered this, but do you start Ahmad in the final or do you use him as a game changer later in the game? Says Sam. Too early, 2 games to play. I think what you do is that you get as many players as you can back, ready, able to play the final, and then you make a selection based upon the final. As we know, football is no longer about, football's about who's available, isn't it? And I think that what we're looking at really is who can start the games, who's fit, and as I said, for me, the way I look at it is, I think you've got 2 really good opportunities with Ahmad to throw him into the team today and start him, and then see how he gets on. I would like to start Ahmad, but I don't know whether I'd like to start Ahmad and Garnacho. I mean, look, kill the game. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to win the game early on? Do you want to have a bench option that can change the game? I understand why you'd start Garnacho and Ahmad. I also understand why you'd bench one of them as an impact player, which is something that we've seen time and time and time again. If I see Amarim out, I will get upset loads, says Robert. First super chat, says Steve. Hope everyone is doing well. Barely a month ago, a lot of people, myself included, assumed Bilbao would win. Now here we are, having won 7-1 on aggregate. What a journey, says Forms. I have an awful feeling Bruno's going to get injured, says Bread Basket. And sorry if you've already answered this, but do you... I've done that one from Ben Aimson. Thank you very much. Ahmad's the GOAT. Bruno's work rate is second to none. Look, never say never. But what I will say about Bruno is that he's not normally the sort of player to get injured. So hopefully we won't see that. The second half's not started yet. I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around a little bit here. I've played the game, you know. I've played the game, and I'm just messing around with this screen, really. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Just messing around. Minutes will be extremely crucial for Luke Shaw, says Deepak. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're approaching 2.1 million on the channel now. So get involved with the channel. We're about 300 subscribers away from 72,000. So love to see you here. We're live again at 8 o'clock tonight. This is the good thing about having an earlier game. It means that we can do an 8 o'clock show later on after the fan forum. So get involved, subscribe, bottom right corner. Live every morning at 10 o'clock, live every evening at 8 o'clock, and all the match build up. And of course, in a week and a half times, it's absolutely massive how this is going to pan out. So lovely stuff. Finger is actually starting to heal, which is great news. I had this jagged cut on my, you know, like normally you cut yourself and it's a straight line. We've got this machine where you put, it's not a machine, you put an onion in and it's got all these grids and then you press it down and it literally just chops your onion up. Anyway, I was washing it up lifted the lid up and sort of rubbed across the top of it with my finger like an idiot. And it's all square blades. So I ended up with this like jagged cut. Took ages to heal. Boring story. Why have Man United got red on their shirt? Charity sponsor, basically. That's what that's all about. Have you got the Malbec out, or is that a big game special? Yeah, we only do the Bram. We only do the Malbec. We only do the Malbec on a hot day, on a Europa League final. It's more of a superstition. But I have got a beer. I've got a cold one. For United States, happy Mother's Day to my beautiful wife, Melissa. Let's go United, says Daryl. Hey man, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. If Eric Ten Hag joins Leverkusen, does he ask for Rasmus, says Enchanted Angel. And I completely agree with Deepak, by the way. I think that the minutes for people like Luke Shaw and Mason Mount are really, really positive. And Amas, and Mainu, and Ahmad. I think there are a number of players that are getting minutes here today that are great. Look, I mean, we've not spoken about it, but I would love to see Rasmus get a bit of service and score another goal. I think look, we don't know what's going to happen in the summer. I think agenda takes over with some people, and they're like, I want Rasmus to miss, I want him to be shit, this, that, and the other. But actually, if he can score some goals, then we have a player here that will go into a final really confident. I want all the players to go into the final confident. I want them to be up for it and, ready for a big, big game, which is coming up in a week and a half. I don't want to watch badminton horse trials. What's that? Horses playing badminton. You know what? I've had emails from the RSPCA for hypothetical fights against a polar bear. The BBC are showing badminton horse trials. Who's the more cruel to animals? Me having a hypothetical fight with a polar bear, or the BBC showing badminton horse trials? They've got horses playing badminton. What are they doing? Sellotaping the bloody racket to their hooves and making them go like that, standing on the tiptoes. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Well, we'll put that on the BBC. RSPCA are probably bloody sponsoring it. Oh, Goldbridge says he hypothetically could beat up a polar bear with a samurai sword. Oh, yeah, we don't think that's very appropriate. Oh, BBC, badminton horse trials. Let's get horses to play badminton. Oh, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. Horses playing bloody badminton. It's like Alan Partridge and bloody monkey tennis, isn't it? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Right, let's get ready. We're about to start here. Lots and lots of football on today. Lots and lots of football on today. And we're ready to go. I'll let you know when it's up and running. But I think United are a little bit delayed here. Minutes will be... I need to stand up. What is the red sponsor if I missed it? It's a charity, Jamie. They've not done a great job with that charity, have they? When people don't actually know what it's all about. But yeah, it's a charity. Shout out to the guy who reported you to the SBA. This is hilariously petty, says the Inquisition. 8 p.m. show, Napoli watch along, says Robert McCormack. Napoli going to win the league. Hi Mark, did the same with my finger cutting an apple? Blows blades are so sharp I never realised, says Luke. Yes, yeah, and the trouble is they're hard to heal because it's not a clean cut really. It's Spurs. I don't want to hear any of that, Grave Mind. I don't want to hear any of that. It's Spurs nonsense. Like I don't think you're a genuine Man United fan if you're just dismissing for Spurs in a final when they've beaten us in their last 3 games. I really don't. I think it's ridiculous. So anyway, we've got to be serious about this. Really serious about this. Mount and Ahmad to score, says Giles. Hi Mark, what channel's the match on, says Tracy. Yeah, stop asking that question, Tracy, you should know better. Lads, it's Spurs. Amarim making all the wrong choices yet again, says the Great Dane. Bit harsh. For United States, happy Mother's Day, says Great Dane. Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely sunny day in Old Trafford. I might stand up. I don't feel great. I feel like I've got bloody hay fever again, which is sort of annoying me. Good to see Wan-Bissaka back at Old Trafford, says Deepak. Yeah. It's not been a great move for him, really, has it? For being honest. Great Dane is a troll and has been for months. Maybe he is a troll. But what I will say is that I am a little bit concerned about starting Mazraoui. Ahmad at right wing back's interesting though, isn't it? I mean, I think a lot of people like Ahmad at wing back, and I understand why, but I don't know. I think a lot of people think Ahmad's best at right wing back. I think defensively it can be a problem. Offensively it can be great, but we do want to move into that. Yoro should have been rested as well, says Ihi. Hi Mark, been watching for maybe 4 years and just genuinely really appreciate everything you do. Keep it up. Thank you, says Wub Wub. Thank you very much, pal. Let us know where you're watching from, by the way. 25,000 of you on a sunny Sunday afternoon. Love that. Thank you very much for tuning in. I don't think Mazraoui, I agree with Hans, I don't think Mazraoui's going to play any more than about 45, 50 minutes. Newcastle lost to Chelsea 2-0. There are other games going on. Forest are playing Leicester. They nearly scored with Wood on the back post. Thanks for all your super chats. I think we're caught up on those. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. So it'll be very interesting today. I mean, West Ham are very similar to Manchester United, aren't they? Shit. But apart from that, no, West Ham are very similar. Started the season, spent a lot of money. I think that West Ham won the transfer window, didn't they? I'm sure West Ham won the transfer window. I mean, you don't get anything for winning the transfer window apart from everybody says you made a load of good signings. But pretty sure West Ham won the transfer window and then proceeded to be absolutely shit. I thought Fulkrug was going to be a good signing for them. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka I thought was good. Tadibo, Alvarez I think was already there. But they made some good signings, and then Lopetegui, it just went wrong. Then they sacked him. They bring Graham Potter in with a very distinctive but different style of play. He's not had a transfer window. And really, I think West Ham fans have realised that, much like us, you can't really judge him until he's had a pre-season. So West Ham in a very similar situation to us, really. Here's Ahmad down the right-hand side. But I think West Ham will just look to counter with Kudos and Bowen. Loads of men behind the ball. And I'd say we will probably shift about 60, 70% possession today. I can't believe where we are, Mark. We're 1 win away, says Enjoy Writing. Mainu is playing very advanced. Bruno's playing a little bit deeper. Ahmad's got a bit of a chance to whip a cross in here. And Bruno, just over the bar. My timer's a little bit off here. I've just got to... What happened is they kicked off and then the referee... restarted it, so I'm a little bit off here. If you want to be in sync with me, I know it's one of those games where people will be ahead, people will be behind, but if you want to be in sync with me, that is in sync now. There we go. I haven't seen the Barcelona under-13s, no, private. Yeah, Mount's playing sort of left attacking, left number 10, and Mainu's playing right number 10. Then you've got Bruno in the pivot with Agate. I don't know against Spurs whether we can do that. I don't know whether you can play Bruno and Casemiro against Spurs in a pivot. You're going to be up against Asuma, Sarr, Bentancur. You know, they've got a decent midfield, so I don't know that we can do that in that game. Some might say we can. I'm not so sure. It's what I would do. Hi, Mark. I'm sat in the garden with my twin daughters listening to you on a lovely day. That's what it's all about. Hope the family's well, Callum. I know. I wish I had an out. I wish I could do that. I really don't. I don't even know if I'm going to do the Liverpool-Arsenal game. I might just not do it. I might just, you know what? I might just give myself a couple of hours off and just do a match reaction of it instead. I'll see how. You know what? I don't never do that. I might just do that. Get a couple of tinnies out. West Ham on the attack here. Let's just see what happens with it. Yeah, headed away. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I'd pick Bruno in the mid. I think I would like to see Ahmad and Garnacho start against Spurs. I don't want to play a chess game against Spurs. I want to be like 3-0 up after 10 minutes. Callum's got a load of likes for that. I'm going to give it a bit of love as well. Thanks for your super chat, Callum. In the garden. Lovely stuff. Garte's given a foul away there. I don't think he got booked. I'm surprised he didn't get booked. Shouldn't have been booked, but I'm surprised he didn't get booked because it just seems to be the sort of thing that United would, that these referees seem to do these days. Chance for West Ham to whip a cross in. It's a decent cross. Bienda sort of getting stuck in no man's land. Could have been an Arna. Wasn't an Arna though. What I mean is it could have been an Arna in relation to getting stuck in no man's land from a cross. Reno, all the way to Reno. Lovely. We've got a lovely week coming up in the UK weather-wise, but I mean, what does that mean to anybody really? You probably live in climates that are fantastic. Arizona. Do you think Mainu will start the final? I wouldn't rule it out because at some point you've got to start. If Mainu's going to be the player we want him to be, at some point you've got to put Mainu in the starting 11. I think it's dead lazy to go, no, he won't be in the team because I thought Mainu was this brilliant talent. Like, if he's a brilliant talent, why can't he get into a shit United side? So I think at some point you've got to say, could he start the final? Well, he should start the final. He's got to force his way in, but I don't think we can be so lazy. Here's Ahmad. Good shot. Bit greedy, and then wild shot by Bruno. But lovely play by Ahmad. But yeah, going back to Mainu there, I think a lot of people would say, oh, you know, he won't play the final. But I sort of go, well, this is a guy who was starting for England in the Euros. This is a Man United side that's going to finish firmly in the bottom half of the Premier League. And he can't start for it. And this is not vintage, mate. This is not 99 United where, you know, you can't start. He's got to be forcing him. If he's as good as everybody says he is and as good as I think he is, then he's got to be starting the game. But where he starts is always going to be the question, isn't it? Roblox Bridge, this is Jim Radcliffe. Mark, what do you think the mental toll of Spurs having beaten us 3 times this season is already for them? They could overthink the final, says Alan. I think Spurs have got their own things to deal with, per se. That's not a French way of saying pussy, by the way. I mean, per se. I don't know what it means in French, but they've got their own things to think about, i.e. they are renowned for losing finals. I mean, I was talking to Robbie about this final, and I said, if we lose to Spurs, I want to go to the quietest and loneliest place on the planet where no one's going to bother you. And the problem is, the place I would go is the Spurs trophy cabinet. But obviously, if they beat us, there'll be something in it because that is the loneliest and quietest place on earth. So I need to find somewhere else because that's something Spurs have got to deal with. They're sort of seen as the team that doesn't win things. So they've got to deal with that as well. Charity info. Red's Global Fund supports programs to help health workers and provide care in places where injustice has enabled pandemics to thrive, says Matty. Yeah, I don't feel like they've done a great job, Red or Man United, in letting us know what this bloody charity's all about. Having said that, there'll be a lot of Google searches about it. So, you know, maybe it certainly shines a light on it, doesn't it? Said it before, but Onana in a final makes me tremble. The man could finish as single-handedly, says Goldio. I want this man to be no more. Get him gone. Rick with it says, what's the reason for red on the jersey, Mark, says Rick. Well, there we go. We've answered that. Hi, Mark. My sister has just died of cancer. She loved watching your match reactions when you lost your head, says Unsocial. I'm really sorry to hear that, mate. Thoughts are with you and your family. Unfortunately, when you build a community, this happens quite a lot. And you get the celebrations of life when people tell us that their kids are born and people getting married. But you also, you know, the longer this community goes on and the bigger it gets, the more you get those types of messages as well, which are always very sad to think of losing people from the community who enjoy it. So very, very sad to hear that. And, you know, as I say, thoughts are with you and your family. Josh is converting the shed into a scream room if we lose the final. What about you? Hardly watched Spurs this season to make a prediction. Well, as I said, I had booked out the Spurs trophy cabinet because it's a very quiet place where no one's going to bother you. But unfortunately, we're playing Spurs, so if we lose, there will be a trophy in it, which is not where I want to be. Sir Joy says, I've got a pollen allergy as well, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Although, is this your bod telling you to retire every time you enter your studio? Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Like nice messages in the chat as well. Hi Mark, our annual charity match against United legends this year: Giggs, Brown, O'Shea, Simpson, Blackmore, Gibson, Gillespie so far. Eves Trust, Instagram, says Richard Spencer. Lovely. Get involved in that, everybody. Here's Mazraoui bringing the ball back for Ahmad. Mainu. Lots of possession for Man United here. I don't know what we are possession stats, but I'd say we're going to be well over. Yeah, look at that. 60% already. I said 60 to 70%. Yeah, check out the annual charity match. Eves Trust, Giggs, Brown, O'Shea, Simpson, Gillespie. Kevin says, is this a new sponsor for Man United or is it... I presume it's just a charity for one game, mate. Yeah. Barry Hogg, thanks for your super chat. You're a legend. Why does Bruno always play like we're 2 goals down in a cup final? Hardick. He's just passionate, I suppose. Henry's got his GCSEs coming up tomorrow. Loving the downtime before. Yeah, good luck, everybody. A-levels, GCSEs, whatever you're doing. What a great week to start as well. Leicester have just scored against Forest. Bloody hell. Forest are absolutely bottling this. Where's my mate's WhatsApp? Here he is. Okay, sorry, I've just got to send this. This is going to really wind him up. Yeah, it's going to be really hot this week. Just the week you want to start doing your GCSEs. We ain't beat Spurs since 2022, says Versatile. Yeah, I'm not going to fall in. I don't care about that. I'm not bothered about past records. I really am not bothered about that at all. It's the same as what people were saying against Wolves. Against City. Is this Yoro's first game at the centre of our back three? Good one to keep an eye on today, says Kent G. Well, yeah, it's all good development for him. Good tackle there. I think it was Agate, but Mount gives the ball away. Bit of a quiet start by Mount. Loses the ball again there. Got to be careful. Every time he goes into a tackle, I do worry about that hip. Not hip. Pelvic, isn't it? Jeremy says, love you down in South Africa. Saw some rumours about an hour to Saudi. Any info, says Deepak. I mean, they're interested, but early days. Fergie99 says, my wife is pregnant with our third child due in October. Let's hope we're in the Champions League when the little lad is born, says Fergie. Congratulations, pal. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hope so. I mean, look at Old Trafford as well. It's absolutely rammed today. There's no such thing as a quiet game at Old Trafford, is there? West Ham are on the attack here. Cross comes in. Back post again. No one's there. Wan-Bissaka, the ironic thing is, Wan-Bissaka spent years at Man United not marking the back post. And here he is, picking it up on the back post because we're not marking the back post. It's got to be tactical, that. Coaches have got to be telling players to tuck in for crosses because we've been doing this numerous times under numerous different managers. 1 Inch Wonders just got engaged. Can you sing Agadoo at the wedding reception? It's a classic wedding tune and I think you're the best man for it. I'll come and sing Agadoo at your wedding for free drinks and 10 grand. It's not bad. The wedding could be anywhere in the world, which I'll donate to charity. Ryan says, I've just lost my nan today. She was a huge believer in God. Yesterday before she passed away, I seen a red butterfly. Today at the hospital, they have me a stitched red butterfly. Message from God, she is with me. Lovely, Ryan, thank you. I don't get the stitched butterfly thing. Okay. She was a huge believer in God. Yesterday, before she passed, I saw a red butterfly. Today at the hospital, they have me a stitched red butterfly. I don't get that bit. Thoughts with you and your family, mate. Really, really sad. I mean, I'm not going to comment on life after death. It's a very personal choice. What's your thoughts on Amas? Got a chance, says JH. Might be a butterfly badge, yes. They've stitched him a red butterfly badge. Yes, that's it. I was thinking like, did the butterfly hit a car, get injured, and then they stitched it up, which is just ludicrous. Well, it's like when you see a white feather, isn't it? People say, like, when you see a feather, it's somebody that you love. Referee's got in the way here. What's your thoughts on Amas? I like Amas. I don't think he's got a chance for the final. I think he's got a very big chance in the future. Starting final 11, says Brandon. I'd go Delit, Maguire, Yoro, Dorgu, Agate, Kobe, Ahmad, Bruno, Mount, Garnacho, Rasmus. Tough because Casemiro on a better run. Thoughts? I think Casemiro's got to play the final, Brandon. Kulusevski's gone off injured. Oh, can we get some... We're trying to get updates here. Trying to get updates. I know a Spurs fan who's there. I've just messaged him. How bad is it? He'll probably be honest. Barry Hogg, thanks for your super chat. Hogging the super chats at the moment, but you're very welcome. Are you nervous about the Europa League final, says Connor? I think I am nervous when I spend time thinking about it, yes. But it'd be wrong not to be. It's a huge game for us, isn't it? Has he gone off for Tottenham? Yeah. Replaced by Mikey Moore. He was gesturing to come off before they changed him. I mean, look, I'm not going to wish injury on anybody, but once it's reported that they're injured, I hope it's a season ender. That's fair, isn't it? Oh, come on, let's not be all woke about it, or bloody snowflake, sorry. I don't wish anybody to get injured, but once he is injured, then I hope he's out for the season, of course. They say the same about us. Don't worry about that. Have we got beat by a side 4 times in a season? Also, can Casemiro keep up with Spurs midfield, says Wakas. Spurs leaving huge spaces for Palace, says Bartley. I've got Palace down to win that game. I think Ange's approach is strange. He switches on and off completely. He just completely picks a reserve side. Don't see anybody moaning about that. There's a nice ball out wide here. Mason Mount. Amas. Bruno into Agate. Nicely into Mainu. Mount again. It's a handball, ref, surely. Didn't give it. What are your thoughts on the Chelsea game, says Oliver? I didn't really keep a massive eye on it, but what I will say is I thought the red card was a bit harsh, considering Tyrone Mings was exactly the same and they didn't give a red. Typical of the PGMOL anyway. You know, if you're a Chelsea fan, you just sat there going, that's probably cost us the game. I can see why it was a red card, but why wasn't Mings a red card yesterday? Good play in the midfield again. I think Agate's having a good game. Agate's having a good game. Who would you say is standout players so far? Amas should have whipped that in first time. Right, now, put it in first time. Agate. We're going around. We're playing around the houses a little bit here. They're just sitting back. You've got to start whipping crosses into the box. I'm nervous with Son back in their squad, says Connor. Hey, Son's a good player, but he ain't been, since Harry Kane's left, he hasn't been the Son of old. He's also coming back from injury. Will he be sharp? Yeah, I think Amas has refused a couple of crosses into the box there that, realistically, in a game like this where a team is sitting back, you've got to start putting them in the box. Bit of a training ground match at the moment, says Cows. I want to see more. Some of these players are trying to get a place in the final. I mean, I'm looking at Mainu, I'm looking at Shaw, I'm looking at Mount. I'm not seeing enough yet, really, that's going to make me think, yeah, they're going to get into the final. Good run by Rasmus here. Needs a bit of help. Tries to put a cross in himself. Should have actually used Amas. Would take Alanga back instead of Rashford. 1-1. Gibbs White. Leicester. Forest. Offside, surely. No, I scored it from a cross. I mean, Leicester are rubbish, aren't they? They are. Ange getting sacked either way, so why not throw the Premier League, says Ed. I think with regards to Spurs and Ange Postecoglou, I can't believe they would sack a manager that's going to win a trophy. That could win a trophy that's their biggest achievement in... Well, what's the biggest trophy Spurs have won? Well, when was the last time Spurs won a trophy bigger than the Europa League? FA Cup 91? $30 years then. 34, 5 years ago. Someone needs to tell Amas to cross it. He's very hesitant, says Johnny. Audi Cup. I don't think the FA Cup's bigger than the Europa League, Carl, but it probably was in 91. Goal for West Ham! Oh my God! Oh my God! I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Man United are losing 1-0. Well, this is what happens when you've got all of the ball and you don't do anything with it. I mean, I don't know. Surprise, surprise, says the chat. Loads and loads of the ball for Man United. West Ham's first attack, probably. And, I mean, you're not going to miss from here. You're not going to miss from here. Look at how many players there are back for United. There's about 10. Cross into the box. Yeah, it's crap. Look at Luke Shaw's positioning here as well. People blaming Amas, but look at Luke Shaw. Again. Luke Shaw can't be in that position as a centre-back. Yeah, well, they're all going in on Amas, but I actually think Luke Shaw's hiding behind a West Ham player. He's the centre-back. He's the centre-back. He's got to put his body in the way of that. He's not even there. Robert says, no one's making runs. It's a statue team. Got to remember that. Bartley says 17th, we're staying up. Got to remember the Audi Cup in 2019, Mark, says Nicola. Well, it's a kick up the arse, I suppose. It's a kick up the arse. I mean, West Ham's approach to this game has been pretty dreadful. Oh, I'll tell you what. I need a kick up the arse. I'm standing up as well. Since when have I shame on the chat. I don't sit down watching United games. I'll play my part as well. No, I mean, need to change this as well because of the shine. We're all guilty of it. Just sitting back, aren't we? Just chilling out, having a chat about our favourite bloody colour. There's a game of football going on here. Way Jones says Amas should have whipped in both those crosses, and Gold Star says it just pains my soul seeing us go forward, make 50 passes around the pitch and do nothing. Amas just has to cross the ball, says Gold Star. Shaw is just not at the races at all, says Emily Derry. Yeah, look, I think it's just it's disappointing. Half this team are meant to be playing for a place in the final. You know, you look at Luke Shaw, you look at Mason Mount, you look at Ahmad, you look at Mainu. These are players that probably won't start the final, who've got a chance of starting the final. And you just expect a little bit more, wouldn't you? I mean, I'm not, you know, you really would expect a little bit more. Kieran says, would you say 17th is a good season for United, Mark? Would you say walking to work and about 10 big pigeons shitting on your head is a good start to your day? Come on, mate. Mason Mount is on a milk carton here, says Shane. 17th is insane when you think about it, says Chucky. A lot of people talking about 17th. I mean, I don't want to rub it in, but the reason people are talking about 17th is here. That's where we are. We are basically the worst team in the Premier League because relegation doesn't count. Relegation doesn't exist. They're just the teams on a stadium tour from the Championship. So we are the worst team in the Premier League now on goal difference. Incredible. Absolutely bloody incredible. Thanks for the super chats. Look, I think when you look at the goal, The cross comes in and there are two players who've got themselves in terrible positions. When a cross is coming across your goal, as a defender, you can't be behind the forward because they will get there first. Obviously, Souček gets in front of Amas. He bullies his way in front of him. You're talking about a Premier League experienced goal scorer and an 18-year-old kid. I can see the mistake, but I can understand the mistake. What I can't understand is what Luke Shaw's doing as the left-sided centre-back. What are you doing hiding behind their forwards? You've got to put your body in the way. You've got to be in front of them and you've got to be blocking the cross. You can't block a cross you can't see because you're behind a West Ham player. And I just don't think he's been at the races at all since he came back. So yeah, look, obviously Amas will get some stick because Souček got ahead of him, but Luke Shaw's doing exactly the same thing. He just doesn't look at the races at all. If we can't beat this lot, how are we going to beat Spurs, says Glenn? Well, it's not our best team. It's not our best team, of course, but I would expect to be seeing more from it. Kobe as a right wing seems a little lost, and so does Ahmad at right wing back, says Hitton. Do you think a lot of these players know they won't be here next season and have checked out, says Steve? I wouldn't be like that. Why would you check out? Like, where are you going? Like, I'd be thinking I might start in the final. Someone might get injured. I mean, look, if I'm Luke Shaw, I might start the final. Someone might get injured. If I'm Mainu, I might start the final because I play really well or someone gets injured. Everybody's got a chance to play in a final, which there's loads of players in football that are decent that never played a cup final. There you go. Decent Premier League players that never played in a cup final. There will be some. Matt Letizia. I would end it with a loss to prevent any injuries, says Harry. Actually going to finish 17th. It's disgusting, says Matthew. Mason Mount's on a milk carton, says Shane. Why do we suck in the Premier League, says Sergio. I don't think I don't think Mount. I don't think Mount and Mainu work behind a striker. Spurs did sack Mourinho before the Carabao final, says Jawad. Man United are playing sleepwalk football, says Polofsky. Mainu and Bruno should be swapped. They are both being misused, says Mafareka. It just pains my soul seeing us going forward, make 50 passes around the pitch and do nothing, says Gold Star. Yeah, I think we've spoken about that, haven't we? We have spoken about that. There is a lethargy to our build-up play. Good tackle, Mazraoui, one of our few players that are doing well at the moment. Ahmad trying to do everything here. Well done, Agate. I tell you what, Agate's probably been our best player again, hasn't he? Barry Hogg, thanks for your super chat. Yoro's asking for people to come out. Here's Mount. Oh, lovely ball by Mount. Rasmus on his right foot. Just wide. Lovely ball. Look at this. It's a good ball. It's a good run. And he's tried to volley it on his right foot. And that would have been a world-class goal, to be fair. The ball by Mount's brilliant. Should score, but weaker foot, I suppose. Phil Cartwright says, just an update. My mum's awake now and being treated. She survived the worst. Thanks, everyone, for the kind messages from the other night. P.S. The team shit, says Phil. Great news about your mum, though. Focus on the positives. That's great news, Phil. Thank you very much for your update. Connor says, can you call my work colleague Luke a prat, please? Thank you, Connor. I'll tell you what I do love about the chat, right, is how many of them are saying that Rasmus needs to be sold for missing that. Like they could take a ball over their shoulder on the volley and knock it over the top of a goalkeeper. Despite what you think happens when you're playing with a controller in your hands, I'd say Lewandowski probably scores that. Harry Kane probably scores that. But that wasn't an easy chance. Anybody who thinks that's an easy chance has just got pure agenda running through their veins. It's over the top, spinning, over your shoulder, eye to ball coordination, and then put it over a goalkeeper. I agree, top class striker finishes it, but I don't think it's a bloody. It's not a. People are acting like he's missed a bloody tap in. That is not an easy chance. And anybody who thinks it is an easy chance is having a bloody laugh. Like, that wasn't an easy chance. It's why you need an experienced striker. I completely agree. You want to take a chance like that, but it's not an easy chance. Let's try and be a tad positive. We're hitting rock bottom, but we can still claim some silverware, says Steve Howard. They won't do it, though, Steve. They won't do it. I can read this negative lot like a book. You get to the final against Bilbao. That's the game that matters. You're losing to West Ham, and it'll be Amarim out again, because it's just the way the world works these days. You swipe right, your mood changes. Callum says, stop getting annoyed. The Premier League doesn't matter. Connor, did we call your work colleague Luca Pratt? I think we did, yeah. So, there are other games going on. 0-0 between Spurs and Palace. 1-1 between Forest and Leicester, and we're losing 1-0 here. But look at those stats. I mean, I don't know how West Ham have got back into this game. It's actually gone from us dominating possession and them doing nothing to us being pretty equal. Just in relation to Kulusevski, who went off for Spurs, the latest I can tell you is minor injury. Probably precautionary. Shout out to Louis on X, who went mad and said, wishing bad injuries on players, you sad CUNT. Yeah, Louis, go and get a life. In fact, you probably haven't got a very good one, have you? Toxic Sunday. Do you think they would sack him if he loses the final? No, 5 Cantonars. I think that's probably one of the most ridiculous expectations. Fans unhappy, paying to watch this. Can't blame them, says Robert McCormack. But you know what, Robert? To be honest with you, if I'd got offered tickets and I wasn't doing the United stand, I wouldn't have gone today. I wouldn't go. And fair play to all those fans that do go, but if you're in hospitality and you've paid for this and you're moaning and booing about it, I'm sorry. I think, where have you been all season? Season ticket holders, I get it, but you know, you don't have to go and watch Man United. And to be honest with you, what were you expecting? A 4-0 win with a hat-trick from bloody Van Nistelrooy? Like, we have been shit this season. If you want to go and spend a couple of £100 on a Man United ticket, then, oh dear, Rasmus down holding his shoulder. No, he might be all right. Might be all right. Hey, everyone who's saying good, who are you going to play up front in the final? You seriously cannot be a Man United fan if you're wishing one of our own players is injured. I mean, what has the world come to? What is happening to society? And people say it's people trolling. It's really not. It really isn't. There'll be people in our fan base saying, I hope he's broke his shoulder. And then who plays up front in the final? This big final that you want to win, who plays up front then? Because Obi can't play. We haven't got another striker. But it's crazy. It's crazy the depths of hate some of our fans will go to. And I know it happens at Arsenal as well. I just find it really, really sad. Really sad. Ahmad up front, great. Harry Maguire up front, great. When you grow up, you'll be able to go into a pub and buy yourself a pint. Apparently, according to Slow Sports News, Kulusevski has a knee injury and a back injury. Reno. Boom, 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 boom. Well, we are about 5 minutes away from half time here. Anyway, Rasmus is fine. To all the Man United fans wishing he was injured. Gadget says you have to admit Rasmus is crap. I don't admit it. Who else do you think's crap? Amas by any chance? Garnacho? The world isn't round, it's cooked, says Louis. There's so much hate in the world these days. I really don't. I don't give us that long. I really don't. I wish there was more people doing more positive things around, you know, diluting hate, because I just don't give this planet that long. I really don't. Some of the things I see on a daily basis, I just don't. I think it is cooked. Anyway, look, this is a football channel. To be honest, Amas has been decent, says Kevin. Kulusevski's got a knee injury and a back injury, says Slow Sports News. Danny Malbec says Glazers are nice people, so Jim, hashtag never forget. Please wish my dad Wally a quick recovery. He's poorly in hospital, says Jason. Good luck, Wally. Get well soon. If he's a United fan, I hope he's not watching this, Jason. Turn it off. Turn it off. These dumb prats, if Rasmus is out, we're fed. We need him. He's our only option up top. Plus, when we loaned out Rashford and Anthony, we should have loaned an attacker or two in for depth, says Kizza. They don't want United to win. They want to be right, says Jonas. True. Absolutely true. And what do you get for being right? I think there's people who want to be right about players, isn't there? Like Agate, I told you he was rubbish from the start. Oh, great. What do you get for that then? Do YouTube send you a little plaque that you can put on the wall? I was right. It's got to be better, though. It's got to be better. I mean, at home, as I said, I think the big disappointment for me is there's 4 or 5 players playing for Man United who really should be running their arse off to play in the final. You're not going to start in the final based on that performance. Mason Mount's not going to start. Mainoo's not going to start. Luke Shaw's not going to start. You know, you've not done enough to start the final so far. And you've got one more game to do it. Mainoo's been really quiet. I mean, I think look, I don't want to individualise it. As I said, I think Luke Shaw's had a bad 45 minutes. I think Mount's done okay. Ahmad's looked lively when we've got the ball to him. I'd like to play Ahmad more centrally. That's the problem when you play out wide. You can drift in and out of the game. But Mainoo, I don't get it. I don't get what the thing's going on with Mainoo. He's 20. He should be full of exuberance and energy and talent. And he just doesn't seem to get into the games like he used to. He's just not in the game much. Society's changed, Mark. Impatient, short attention span, more choice and able to abuse online without consequences. This has bled into football too, says IQ. Yeah, true. True. Deepak says Mount's been anonymous too. Well, he did play that good pass through to Rasmus. I mean, is that enough, I suppose? Hambo says, how can you justify 17th mark? 0 standards. How can you celebrate being in the final then? Touche, sir. You throw it at me, I'll throw it back. How can you celebrate Man United being in the final of the Europa League then? Pretty sure you were there going, yes, Harry, and all this, that, and the other. We can both play that game. For me, there's 2 very different conversations. There is Spurs are losing. We're up to 16th, so have that. Have that, Hambo. You look a right idiot now. How can you justify 17th, Mark? I don't, because we're not. We're 16th. Saved by Palace. But there's two very separate conversations. There is the absolute dissection of why we finished where we have in the league. And then there is the, survival of the Europa League. Barry says, I'm watching from Japan. Do you think Luke Shaw has any future in this very average team? Not unless he's going to suddenly start playing well. Look, sharpness could still be an excuse, but he just looks miles off. And I suppose he's basically missed 2 years of football, hasn't he? He missed the whole of, he basically missed the whole of 2024 because of injury. And he's missed, probably 3 months of 2025. That would be a good prediction, actually, for 2026. And he missed a lot of 2023. So, King Ragnar says 17th is ours. Nice work, boys. Disregarding league form is a big risk. Ask Arsenal. Says Big Ez. Mainu has the contract on his mind. He might be leaving, says Scott. Look, honestly, I'll come back to that Mainu thing. Remind me at half time. Going to be a bounce of trampoline proportions, 25-26, says Glenn C. Thank you, IQ. Mount as well. Can't do that. How do you feel about the shirt sponsor, says Swanee. Half time. What are your thoughts on the half? Look, my thoughts on that half are that this is actually worse than the Wolves game. When we lost to Wolves because they scored that free kick, we actually created chances. I think the chances we've created in this game have been really pretty shit. Same for West Ham, but they're winning. It's a poor performance, and I think the issue I would take with this performance is quite simply why are we turning up for a game like this, playing like this, when a lot of the players that we're picking are wanting to play in the final? Like, look, I'm going to throw some names at you. If I'm Luke Shaw, if I'm Agate, if I'm Ahmad, if I'm Mainu, if I'm Mount, and some of them haven't had a bad game. I thought Ahmad was trying to do, I thought Agate was probably our best player. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if I'm starting the final if I'm Agate, because it could play Casemiro and Bruno. I don't know if I'm starting the final if I'm Ahmad, because he might play Mazraoui right wing back and Garnacho and Bruno. I don't know if I'm starting the final if I'm Mainu or Mount or Luke Shaw. So if I want to know if I'm starting the final, and I do want to start the final, I want to be on that pitch tearing it up. I don't want to be putting in the performance I've just put in, because it's not going to do anything for you, is it? So I think that's the surprising point for me, is that there's a lot of, I understand it with Mazraoui, I understand it with Yoro, I understand it with Bruno. You're definitely going to start the final, so I get it. You're probably going through the motions. You don't want to get injured, etc., etc. But there's a lot of players on that pitch who don't know whether they're starting the final, and they're going through the motions, and I don't think that's acceptable. Look, if I was playing where Mason Mount was playing, for example, I'd be busting a gut. I'd be everywhere. I'd be trying to force my way into the manager's plans, and I don't think we've seen enough of that, and I don't really understand why. And going back to what we were talking about Mainu, what I'd say at half-time is this. If you're Ruben Amarim and you're looking at Mainu there, and there's a negotiation for a new contract, and there's talk of 150 grand a week, I'd be going, I don't know whether we're getting any offers here, but are we 100% sure we don't want to cash in? Because I've been here for 5 months, I can't find a place for him in my team, and when I give him opportunities, I'm getting that. That's really harsh. I wouldn't do it. I'd keep him. I don't believe we should be selling any of our young players. But I'm not Ruben Amorim, and I'm certainly not Sir Jim Radcliffe. And I think the concerning thing about Mainu at the moment is, what's the excuse? No hate, no Player FC positivity. What's the excuse? Because is it sharpness? He's been fit for a few weeks now. Same with Luke Shaw. So why is Mainu not getting into games? Is he distracted? Is he unsettled? I don't get it. Whatever position he plays in, everyone goes, that's not his position. So when he came on the other day and playing in the pivot, it's not his position. Play him at the number 10, it's not his position. Like, we're going to give this kid a big contract and a big wage. Where does he start in this team? Like, I said this in the first half. I think with Mainu, we're all starting to get to the thing now of where does he fit into this team? What? This team that's going to finish in the 16th or 17th in the Premier League? Mainu's the player that if he was at Liverpool, you'd go, where does he fit into this team? And he starts. He can't start for this team. I can't find a place for Mainu in this team. I think that's a problem, and we need to see more. And look, I completely agree. I say the same about Garnacho, I would say the same about Amas, and I'll say the same about Mainu. They're young players. We need to develop them and not put too much pressure on them. But how do we develop them if we can't find a place for them in the team? And I think that's something that we need to look at. These dumb prats, if Højlund is out, we're finished. I've done that one, sorry. Mark, the idea of dropping Ahmad for anyone, especially Garnacho, is the sort of thing that makes me sick. Remember, we want to win, says Lamin. It's a tough balance to play for form and protect yourselves. The attacking desire is there, but not enough proactive risks being taken. Cheers, says Alonso. I just think the players' heads are on the final, says Wub. Yeah, but you know me, I've always said, we will definitely have people going Amarim out if we lose to West Ham. You know, the toxic twats who just want to get proved right, who were smiling behind sunglasses and you know, gritted teeth when we won. You know, the radio stations, the mainstream media, the ex-players. I get that because they were never really telling the truth about their excitement about the final. But there is no reason to flip from we're happy to be in the final to moaning because we lose to West Ham. Because some people will be going through the motions, I get that. But where I will moan is the 4 or 5 players that I can't put in the starting lineup at the moment for the final shouldn't have an excuse to be going, well, we're just preparing for the final. You're not in the fucking final. You need to play well to get in the final. Like, with all due respect, if you are, I don't know, Mason Mount, why would you just be going through the motions getting... Am I coming off now, Gaffer? I've played 45 minutes. Yeah, you are coming off. Go on your fucking holidays. Because if that's what you're going to do for 45 minutes, you can fuck off. You're not playing. So that's what I mean. Half of this team can't expect to play the final. So you can't play this game like, I'm just going through the motions to, you know, to get ready for the final. Bog off. You've got to be... I expect you to be putting in a good performance, certainly. Let's have a look at the stats at half-time. I mean, look, we've drifted there. I said before the game, I expected Man United to have a comfortable 60 to 70% possession with West Ham parking the bus and counter-attacking. And I think for the first 20 minutes, we were going north of 60%, but look at what's happened there. Conceded the goal again and gifted up possession again. Heads have dropped again. West Ham have got 53% possession at Old Trafford. They've had the same amount of shots. They've had 5 fucking corners. What the hell's going on there? That is shit. If I was Amarim, I'd be busting another TV. That's not acceptable. You know, if West Ham come here and we've got 60% possession and we've had 5 corners and they've scored on the counter-attack, fine. They're getting to the point where they're dominating the game there. That's not acceptable. You can't just go through the motions for the final. I'm looking at the players here. I'm looking at the players and I'm saying, up your fucking game. What is your excuse? You know, I've not told you to go out there and not attack. Get your fucking game going. And this is like, there are always different reasons for why you lose a game of football or why you're not playing well. Sometimes it's because you haven't got the quality. And obviously I think we would all agree with that. And you've got to look at recruitment. You've got to look at the owners. Sometimes it's because of the team the manager's picked, etc., etc. And sometimes you pick the right team and the players don't turn up. And I think at the moment it's the latter for me. There's too many players there that aren't actually putting a shift in, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I would expect to be seeing 7, 8 out of 10 from people like Mainu, Mount, Ahmad, Shaw, you know, players that really want to get into the manager's final plans. Because I tell you what, the team for the final probably at the moment is Onana, Mazraoui, Maguire, Yoro, Dorgu, you know, Delo or Delit if they're fit will play, Agate, Bruno, Casemiro, Garnacho, Rasmus will obviously play. I mean, I'd like to think Ahmad will play, but you're not in the team if you're Mainu. You're not in the team necessarily if you're Mount. You're not in the team if you're Shaw. So if you want to be in that team, There's only a game and a half left before the final. Step it up, but you shouldn't need to be told that at half time. You know, if we start like this against Spurs with this mentality, we're screwed. Why does it take till half time for him to bang a bloody TV? Like, they should know this from the start. Dave says, what are they expecting Manu to do when the striker playing at front is rubbish and him not involving anyone in the game? Just look at Kudos, says Dave. I think that's terrible analysis, Davey, but maybe some people will agree with you. He's playing in the number 10 position. He's not mobile enough. Some of his passes have not been up to tempo. He played one off to Mazraoui that was behind him. His job is not dictated to by a striker. His job is dictated to by getting hold of the ball and being busy. He doesn't need the striker to get him into the game. The same way Mount, Bruno, Amad, Garnacho don't need the striker to get in the game. They need the ball. And the ball comes from the defence. You know, we've had a lot of the ball and we've done nothing with it. We were going side to side to side to side. Hi, Mark. Today's game just feels like a pre-season game. The effort doesn't seem to be there. No intensity. Loving the content as always, says Andrew. And look, I embrace what Davy is saying. At least he's showing a bit of passion in it. I don't have the oracle on everything. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is I'm massively disappointed with some of the effort levels and intensity of some of those players who have a marvellous opportunity to play in a Europa League final. And at the moment, I'm not putting some of those players into that team. I know Bruno's going to start. If I'm Bruno, honestly, mentally, it's a difficult game. I know I'm playing a week on Wednesday. And I'm playing here against West Ham. And I'm sort of like, I don't want to overexert myself. I don't want to overstretch or do anything stupid. It's a horrible place to be in when you know you're starting in a week and a half, but you've got 2 competitive games before it. You're sort of like, I want to go into that game feeling confident. I want to go into that game feeling energetic. You know, you're managing it mentally. It's difficult. But as I said, half this team doesn't know they're starting. So they need to bloody play like they are. Mount's been lively, says Ravas. Manu absent, Agate playing well. I think Agate, who would you say was your man of the half? I think Agate has been the most energetic player. He's made a lot of tackles. I mean, look, it's not his job to score the goals. Yeah. Spurs have had another injury, apparently. Look, jokes aside, we will pick up an injury as well. I don't want... I mean, that can go the other way. If they're decimated by injury, that can go the other way. I mean, he's not picked many of his first team players anyway, so how can they have another injury? Absolutely right there, Mark. He's checking if they're up for it. Also, I like Amas, but he's got bullied at the back. He's not ready, says Time to Fly. Watch that goal back that Man United concede. Amas does get the wrong side of Souček, but look at Luke Shaw. He's got to be in a better position as well. Mohammed says, do you care about this game? Yes, I do. I don't think it's acceptable to lose a game like this, playing like that. As I said, the Wolves game, we deserved to win. We didn't take our chances. They scored a goal and they won. In the grand scheme of things, it was sandwiched in between Europa League games. I wasn't that bothered. We haven't got a game on Thursday. We're prepping for a final, and half this team is meant to be on show to play for the final. It's a different thing. I don't really care about the points. I care more about the performance, and you'll get the points from the performance. So I don't think it's acceptable to be playing the way that we're playing. I think there's too many people playing under par, which I find staggering with such a big game coming around the corner. You'd think that it's an audition. Hammers are easily getting out of their half during their attacks. Every time we have the ball, it seems like we're about to give it back to West Ham, says Uriel. I know this game doesn't matter, but I expected more from Manu, Mount and Amad. Nothing to lose. Go out and enjoy, says Marlow. Can I just defend Amad? I will say this. I would put Amad at 10 because I just don't think he's getting into the game enough, and he's the most lively player. And I think when he's out on the right-hand side, he's out on the right-hand side. There's not a lot of... there's not a lot we can do. So I would do that. I can't see what the other Spurs injury is, by the way. I don't think they have another injury because they've still got the same team. They've just made one substitution. So not too sure if we're being trolled a little bit there. But they are losing 1-0. Eze scored for them. So they're in 17th at the moment. Thanks for your super chats. Emily Derry says, I'll be asking some of these players if they are mice or men. Too many appear to be mice, says Emily. And Man United's biggest issue has long been poor recruitment. Since Bruno Fernandes, most signings have been mediocre at best, says Penguin. Shane says, Rasmus's performance week in, week out needs to be questioned. Well, not at the moment. I disagree, Shane. Simply because there's nobody else. I think it will be. I think it has been questioned. I think many of you have questioned it, and we're going to buy a striker in the summer. So there's your answer. But right here, right now, it's a bit like Onana, isn't it? We just need Onana to put. I've got the same colour combo as Amarim. Got the same colour trousers on as well. I'll show you. Look. Doing an Anthony here. Can you see the colour? There we go. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. He's certainly not coaching like me. Could be doing better. How do you send super chats? There's a $ sign. I think you click that. I'm curious where you feel Mainu best fits into Amarim's system. If that's a question to me, W Skeezer, and you have done a super chat, where do you lot stand on Mainu? My feeling is Mainu's best position in this lineup would be next to Agate, and you'd put Bruno next to Mount, which doesn't work. Also, Mount and Mainu doesn't work. Too slow. You need a winger in one of them positions. Bruno and Mainu wouldn't work. Bruno and Mount doesn't work. Mainu and Mount doesn't work. You need a bit more pace. One of them's got to be quick. There's not enough pace in that. Xerxes and Bruno, I don't think that massively works either. So I think if you're asking me where Mainu needs to play in this system, then I'm going to say next to Agate. Mount's not slow. Well, he's certainly not fast, mate. I don't know what planet you're on that you think Mason Mount's fast. And he certainly doesn't run at people and take them on. No subs at half time. Just waiting for the start of the second half here. There will be an abundance of substitutes in about 15 minutes' time. Forest and Leicester are 1-1, by the way. If you're interested in the race for top 6, it's getting very interesting here. I've never known a team that turned up based on emotion as much as this team. Underdog mentality, comebacks, we have every script, says Nick P. Matthew says, don't play a striker in the final like last year. I think when you're playing up against Romero and Van der Ven, nearly 2-0. West Ham had a great chance there. Ward-Prowse, unmarked from a cutback, deflected into the keeper's arms. I mean, he really should score. We should be 2-0 down. Just asleep again. I mean, look at how slow Mainu is to get there. I mean, I wonder if he's carrying an injury. We just don't learn. We just don't learn at all. Since how long have we said there's no service for our strikers, says Heshem? Who's been surprised anymore, says Constantine. This has been us all season, and I don't see it changing, says Constantine. Thank you, pal. Hope you're doing well. Can you wish me and Tom, inshallah, for our exams tomorrow, says Luca. Love United stand. Been watching since COVID. Ending the season, not winning 2 Premier League games in a row all season. Amarim in, but he needs to be backed. Top 6, unlikely, says Elijah. Amarim needs to play FC, not a rugby club, says Football Carton. And thoughts on Sir Jim not paying for staff tickets, says Levi. I've seen it, mate. So you get complimentary tickets, but you get 2 free drink vouchers, and then your family and friends have got to pay for theirs. The club's broke. Broke. Matthew says we'd be better off without a striker in the final, Mark, like against City in the FA Cup final. Bruno up top and we'll play better, says Matthew. He might do it, but I wouldn't do it. Romero and Van der Ven are so physical, I think you've got to put somebody up there who knows what they're doing. The clock is not off. It is absolutely synced in with what I have. So yours might be ahead or behind, but mine is synced perfectly if you want to sync in with me. Manchester United's biggest issue has long been our recruitment. We've done that one, haven't we, from Penguin. Michael said, it'd be odd if people blame the coach because there's no option, but questioning Rasmus's performance because there's nobody else is strange, as Michael. Thank you very much. Look, agendas run rife, don't they? I guarantee you Agate, if I said what rating would you give Agate, people would be going 6, even though he's the best player on the pitch, because some people don't like Agate. If you want to do your player ratings, by the way, you can do that every single game on the United Stand, the biggest and best player rating system in Manchester United's fan base, because it's voted for by you. Just scan, register, and then you can do it every single week. Get involved with that. We've got an injury here. I can't speak. There's 4 players around Euro. Told you it was coming. It was always going to happen. Why bring Maguire on? Why bring Maguire on? Why bring Maguire on? Fucking why? He's carrying an injury himself. Fucking put Lindelof on. We're losing. That doesn't look good for Euro at all. Amarim looks absolutely dejected. Euro looks dejected. Dear, oh dear. I mean, what's your... Could be the Metasarsal again, which we bought him with that injury, of course. Hey, listen, let's not criticise Man United's medical department. We bought the guy with the metatarsal. We were confident he'd be absolutely fine. Even though he had a metatarsal injury, we were absolutely confident that it was fine. And if he's done it again, we basically bought him with that. No, we basically bought him with a problem, and then in pre-season he aggravated the problem, and it looks like he's done it again. Lindelof is coming on with Maguire, so we're obviously taking Mazraoui off as well. What did I say the other day? I said it the other day. Ezzy's just made it 2-0 for Palace. I said this the other day. We will lose. Don't get laughing about Spurs losing players, because we're going to lose players as well. We will lose players as well. Mainu looks lost in the 10. He's better at the 6 and 8, says Daniel. Why is Yoro playing? He didn't need the minutes. Play Lindelof, says Marlow. Amas should be investigated for not crossing, says Frank. Michael says it'd be... Oh, Luke Shaw's coming off. Oh, good. You can only play 50 minutes, can you? Fucking waster. What? Why are you coming off instead of Mazraoui? Fucking hell. Oh, let's protect Luke Shaw. Fucking hell. Keep him on. Keep him on and take Mazraoui off, for God's sake, mate. So what happens now? Mazraoui goes into the fucking red zone. Don't give a shit about Luke Shaw. Keep him on. The guy's been injured for a fucking 18 months. Keep him on and take Mazraoui off. Somebody just said Luke Shaw was holding his hamstring. No, you're joking. Seven-inch Destroyer says another injury, very worrying. Well, give us your thoughts. Yoro's gone off. We have been but you know what? We have been averaging an injury a week for weeks. Marlowe says, why was Yoro playing? He didn't need to. Amaz should be investigated for not crossing, says Frank. It'd be odd if people blame the coach, says Michael, because there's no option, but not questioning Rasmus' performance because there's nobody else is strange, as Michael. Since how long have we said no? I've done that one. Thank you very much. If Brighton offered Belieber and 25 million for Mainu, would you take it? Belieber's athleticism gives him a way higher ceiling than Mainu, says Owen. Jake says, don't bones get stronger when they heal? Is this because we haven't healed him properly, or am I a moron? Why is it the same injury, says Jake? I don't know. Forest have just scored 2-1 up against Leicester. That's a big goal for them. But Ahmad's wanting a handball here of more interest. I think there will be a VAR check. I think that'll be soft. I don't think they'll give that. I don't think they'll give that. Won't be clear and obvious. I don't think it was a penalty. I think Mount definitely looked like he dived. Yeah, not given. Mate, we're shit in the box. Open up, it smells rancid, says Lisa Reynolds. Please end the season. Can't deal with this anymore, says Jacob. Luke Shaw sprained his wallet, says Danny Melbeck. Thank you very much for your super chats. Oh, apparently my mate's watching and he wants me to shout out his dog that's training to be a sniffer dog. Couldn't smell a packet of crisps. Thick twat. And I'm not talking about my mate. I'm talking about your stupid dog. That is a private joke. Don't worry about it. Mark, would you consider showing second and third place from the player ratings as well as first? Would be interesting to see those ratings as well. I always shout them out, Nick. I always shout them out. I don't know whether we can physically do it because it's listed. It looks a bit shit as a graphic, but maybe we can sort that for next season. But I always tell you who's second and third. Thank you very much, Nick. Is it possible Yoro's been taken off as a precaution? Ryan, I'm laughing in the face of fear, but the guy had his shirt up over his eyes in tears nearly, and Amarim had to be alone. So I don't think it was a precaution, no. I think it was a season ender. Ajit says, do you think the injury looked or could be serious? I think it looks very serious. Yeah, I think it looks very serious. No, very serious in the context that he won't be back in a week and a half. And also, like, precaution or not, knock or not, it's a week and a half. A week and a half. Like, if I mean, I can't speak. What's Binder doing there? For God's sake, catch it. A week and a half is not long, is it? Mbappe's running riot in the title decider, says Robert McCormack. It's getting really hard to be positive. Amarim, you're our only hope, says Henry T. West Ham are through here again. Wan-Bissaka! Goal, 2-0. Wan-Bissaka with the assist. I've had enough. You know, even I've had enough today. I've got to say this, right? I am not Amarim out. I am not getting negative. We have to win the Europa League final. That's all that matters. But some of these players are fucking awful. You're meant to be auditioning for the final, and you're playing absolute shite. Like, West Ham are rubbish. They're absolutely rubbish. They'll admit they're rubbish, and you're worse than rubbish. Like, some of these lads are meant to be playing for a place in the final. I can't, you know... I mean, I don't know what Agate's doing there. Maguire, Lindelof. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's just so bad. You can't. The thing is, you can't find a positive. There's not one player on that pitch who's had a good game. Dear, oh dear. Shocking. Absolute shocking. I just can't believe. Can't believe how bad we are, considering they're meant to be playing for the final. Mason Mount goes off as well. I mean, he can't play... So Mason Mount can only play 60 minutes as well. Look, I get taking Agate off. He's played a lot of football. I get taking... Mazraoui's not off. I really do struggle with some of these substitutions. Luke Shaw should not be coming off after 50 minutes. The guy never fucking plays. He should be forced to play 90. Mazraoui is now playing over an hour when he was in the red zone and the manager said he's in the fucking red zone. Bruno's going to play fucking 90 minutes. Rasmus will end up playing 90 minutes. Ahmad's still on the fucking pitch. I mean, who are we protecting and who aren't we protecting here? I'm sort of losing... I don't know who we're protecting. Why are we protecting fucking Luke Shaw? Mazraoui's the one who needs to come off. Like, that to me is like, he needs to be off. Lindelof is crap, says Daniel. Amarim has got to go, says MUFC. On the bright side, I was finally able to ask my crush on a date. She declined, but watching us play like that, worse than getting a rejection, says Syndicate. Can't wait for this season to end, says Carlos. I was holding his foot, probably his metatarsal, says Glenn Castle. How much do you think Yoro's injury impacts the final, says Ajit? And Emily says, once again, our centre-back roster is decimated. Well, it sort of answers both questions. Bruno has been terrible today, Andre. Yeah, he's just going through the motions again. I don't think he was that good on Thursday either. It's getting hard to be positive, says Henry. So, if Yoro's injured and De Ligt's not back, then your defence is going to be Maguire, Lindelof, and I don't know, Johnny Evans. If De Ligt doesn't get back, I don't know who our back three is. Because Delot's not back. If Delot and De Ligt aren't back, you would have to put Mazraoui right wing back, Luke Shaw, Lindelof and Maguire. Well done, Spurs. I don't think I'd be playing Fredriksson in a Europa League final against Spurs, if I'm being completely honest, which is why I didn't mention Amas either. I feel sorry for those who paid to go to the match as unknown person. Yeah, I do as well. I mean, the only other positive is that Spurs are losing 2-0 as well. Oh, dear. Callum says Agate is a disgrace to the shirt. But Callum, you're a disgrace to the fan base because at half-time, everybody said he was man of the match. He made a mistake on the second goal and now he's a disgrace to the shirt. So what are you then, Callum, if you're not the biggest flip-flop on this live chat? The guy made a mistake. He was partially at fault for the goal, but he was the best player in the first half. So that's what I mean. Let's individualise it and pin all our hate and all our agenda on one player because he's the reason that we're losing 2-0. Come on. Wenger has a point, says Josh. What would you say the percentage of chances of Yoro being out is, says Matthew? 90. I'd say 90% chance he's out. Based on experience and seeing the way players react to things, I mean, look at De Ligt. De Ligt did that against Brentford, and he's missed a whole week, and he knew he'd done something wrong. So Yoro knows he's done something wrong. A week takes us to next Sunday. The match is on Wednesday. I can't see him being back. Does this go and show how bad Europa actually is, says Kieran? No, I don't agree with that, Kieran. I think that I think that there's obviously an issue with our mentality in the Premier League, and I don't think you'd see a United performance like this if this was to get in the top four and the Europa League didn't matter. I just think we're a light switch football club, unfortunately. I think the big thing, in my opinion, the big thing that's frustrated me about today is just how many players, and I've said it so many times I'm boring myself, how many players wouldn't be starting the final but could be starting the final and have played fucking shite. That's the thing that's annoyed me about today. Our starting three centre-backs are out. Yoro, De Ligt and Martinez, says CJ. No standards at the club. Fan base is the problem, says MUFC. There are things in Amarim's control he's messing up, says Hambo. Mazraoui shouldn't be on the fucking pitch. Like, Mazraoui is absolutely a danger now. Like, Amarim literally said after the game on Thursday, Mazraoui is in the red zone and we've got to be really careful with him. 65 minutes in, he's still on the pitch, but Mason Mount and Luke Shaw have been protected. I don't get that. I don't get what we're doing here. Because if Mazraoui gets injured, everybody can say, well, you knew. It's not bad luck. Two terrible teams, one amazing Europa League final, says Jordan. Knowing our luck, Bruno will roll his ankle down the tunnel, says Jake. Hope you and the family are well, mate. Roll on Bilbao. Oh, flick at the front post by Rasmus. Just wide. I don't know what's worse today, the performances or the squad management trying to get people ready for the final, says Nick. I think I'm going to talk about that. Squad management's been poor today. Really poor. I'll be honest, I don't care about Luke Shaw. I don't know why we're taking him off. Put your bets in for a United draw, says Esco. Marlo says, I'm far from Amarim out, but I struggle to see proper leadership. And Bebop says, you would have thought Amarim would not have played any crucial players today. I don't understand it. Jason says, people don't saying Agate was man of the match. These people don't know football then. Jason, that's a very big statement. I said it. And yet you're paying for super chats on this channel. So what does that make about you? You're watching. I presume you've been watching the United stand before. At half time, I think Agate was man of the match. In a poor performance, I think he was. He's at fault for the second goal. He's made a mistake. But I don't think one mistake makes a player poor unless you are part of this generation where you just jump on one thing and go, everything else that happened before doesn't matter. That's the only thing that matters. Can you see next season starting like the end of this one? Shane, I think it will start like the end of this one if we don't win the Europa League. I think the club's heading into oblivion, yeah. Are you going to do the Liverpool-Arsenal game, says Jordan? I don't know. I was going to sit in the garden and have a couple of beers in the sun, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I'm doing an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand no matter what. I just don't know whether I want to do Arsenal-Liverpool. I don't know whether I can be arsed, actually. It's hard watching Man United. Why haven't we subbed off to beat Tadibo off? We need him for the final, says Jarbar Drinks. Lloyd Wyatt Williams says, why are we risking some of these players, then Ericsson and Co are on the bench? Who cares about the game? And still the fools pay to sit in their stadium and line the owner's pockets, says Stephen. Why not just play the under-21, says Corey. Well, look, I think it's always a contentious thing. Beth says, can someone tell me this isn't a drag? She was right. Give her a pay rise, not the sack. I know this is contentious to say this, but I said it. Like, people are saying it's not acceptable. People have paid money to go and watch Man United. They should get better. I'd flip that the other way around and say, if you've got a season ticket, then you've paid for it. You've got every right to moan. If you've gone to hospitality or you've bought tickets for the game today, then what were you expecting? That's your own stupid fault. I mean, what were you expecting? Like a hat-trick from Van Nistelrooy and a Beckham free kick? We're shit. Like, we're absolutely shit. Did you not look at the weather and go, actually, we'd be better off staying at home and having a barbecue? Like, you can't say, oh, the fans who pay their money deserve better. Of course they do. But I have sympathy with season ticket holders who bought their tickets at the start of the season. But if you've gone and bought yourself hospitality at 600 quid for Man United against West Ham, and you bought it at any time in the last 2 months, well, I'm sorry, what were you expecting to happen? I went to watch Man United. I took Seb to his first game at Old Trafford against Brentford in the autumn, and we were losing 1-0 at half-time, and we were fucking shit. Thank God we managed to win. But I tell you what, how many home games have we actually won this season? Because it's not many. It's probably the worst season ever to take your kid to watch Man United at Old Trafford for the first time. Because picking a win is not easy. So don't come at... I don't think you can say, oh, fans should expect... fans shouldn't... fans are paying good money. You're going into your eyes open to a certain extent this season. Season ticket holders, I agree, you don't know what you're getting, but people are still turning up in hospitality every bloody game. It was sold out. I looked at West Ham the other week. It was sold out. Hospitality, buy tickets on the day. So, I think there's an element of truth. Until people stop turning up and saying this is not good enough, who makes the money? Worst United team, lose the final. Does it make him the worst United manager? Players have got no pride, says Calvin. Isn't Mazraoui in the red due to playing wing-back, but he's at centre-back now, so not going up and down as much, says Goat. Mate, if you're in the red zone, you're in the red zone, aren't you? Let's take a moment to thank Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich for taking the fallout this season, says Ripe Fruities. Amarim has said it himself, we can't concentrate on 2 competitions, and unfortunately he's been proven right, says Stitch. At least Palace 3-4-2 formation dominating Spurs, says Callum. Ahmad and Mazraoui shouldn't be playing, protect them, says Hamza. Lose the final, finally hit rock bottom, says Andrew. I've been to 13 games this season and only seen us lose once somehow, says Greg. That's miraculous, Greg. You should be in the bloody Guinness Book of Records. How have you gone to 13 games and only seen us lose once? Must have all been Europa. These players need to stop going down so easily looking for free kicks. We concede so many goals shortly after they do. It's so frustrating, says Hayden's Gaming Adventures. Hope you're doing well. Have you got any updates about De Ligt coming back? Do you think he will be available for the final? Says I'm begging for Wi-Fi. I think De Ligt will be available for the final. Whether he actually should be available for the final is another matter. But I think with Yoro now, we will end up using De Ligt and rushing him back. Peter Bissett says United winning the Europa will be a bigger underdog story than Leicester winning the league. And Vanta says if most of these fans had been around Fergie's first partial season, it would have been his only season. Mate, look, I said it after the Villa game. I will not entertain Amarim out or anything like that. I think it's the opinion of a moron. And I know that winds some people up, but I genuinely do. There is just no way we are going to sack Amarim. There is no way that Amarim's job is in any danger. And it's the same as the Arsenal fans who say Wenger out. You're wasting your breath. You're wasting your blood pressure. I ain't got any time to talk about something that's not going to happen. It's like when Paul Scholes says we should go and buy Lewandowski. Great idea. Never going to happen. Not going to waste time debating it. I'd rather talk about something that's actually constructive. We're not sacking Amarim. So Amarim out or this ain't good enough or anything like that. It's a waste of time. It's never, ever, ever going to happen. Never going to happen. We've got to say, it's not going to happen. Don't say never, never say never. It's not going to happen. Like, they've committed to signings for him. Those signings are lined up. They can't afford to sack him. They're not going to sack him. It's never going to happen. Even if we lose the final, even if we lose to Chelsea 4-0, they're not sacking him. It's just not going to happen this season before next season. So it's a waste of time. So I'd rather talk about the real issues. And the real issues for me is obviously the way the club is run. It's fucking atrocious. And secondly, I can't get my hat on why some of these players... I mean, is Mainu still on the pitch? Is he actually still on the pitch? Because I haven't noticed him for 70 minutes. Oh, he is. He's just played a pass to a West Ham player. There we go. Well timed. Ahmad into Rasmus. Good save by the keeper. Best chance we've created all game, that. Andrew McMaster, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. About 30 seconds into the half, Yoro got a small kick to the top of the foot, then starts limping. Gutted to Kana Dave. There you go. Well analysed. Do you think this is bad? Wait till Leeds relegators, says Ace. How about a watch-along for the Women's Cup final, says Stephen. Europa League final is going to be the battle of the shite, says the real Ivan. Lose the final, finally hit the bottom of the barrel, says Andrew. Thank you. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Maguire's just headed one wide as well. We're only 10 subscribers away from 72,000, so please click and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. I'm sure player ratings are going to be very interesting as well. If you want to register for that and do your player ratings, you can do that through the QR code there. Get that ready. Mark every player out of 10. 6 being the average. Jonathan says the manager's the issue. Did the Yoro injury look bad? I missed it, says B16. Yeah. I think it did. Yeah, I think he's out. I'd be stunned if he's not out for the final. Let's put it that way. Mainu. Garnacho. Cuts it back. Actually, that's not a good... I'll tell you what. Bruno's been quiet tonight as well. Today. Not tonight. Dorgu. That's got to be out. That's got to be out. Corner. Howder says, check the Barcelona match. Still hope for United with 15 minutes to go. Wish it was trolling, but Shaw was holding his hamstring before he came off. Also was limping after. Hope he's fine, but rewind it back, says David. Maguire's just missed again. He can't believe it. Wish it was trolling, but Shaw... Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at the Maguire chance again. Straight at the keeper. Madrid 2, Barca 3. Looks like a great match, says Samuel. This is one of the worst performances I've seen, says Mats. As in the Champions League means no European football after that. We won't get top 6, maybe FA Cup, but it's a small chance if City will be back, says Cats for Life. 3 uncomfortable truths. The manager isn't improving this team yet. Number 9 offers no threat. Waste of space. Maguire should still go, says Humphrey. I think there's more than 3, mate. I think it's way more than 3. I think you've just selected your favourite 3 there, but there's way more than 3. If United lose, then United stand guy will have to wait till at least August before he can get a chance to cut his hair again. What about the heat? Says I'm begging for Wi-Fi. Look, the United Strand guy ain't never cutting his hair. I hope he lives a long and happy life, but that hair's getting buried with him. We all know that. And how big that hairdo's going to be, you know. I played the game, says Wade Jones. I hate the system. The space in midfield is shocking. All teams have to do is defend well, and it's easy to break. I can't see long-term success as Lee. But this is the problem when you look. Do people want to have? Do you want to have a real conversation? You know, people are talking about real problems or anything. Do you want to have a real conversation? Because I've been having this conversation with you since Amarim came here. Bruno Fernandes in a midfield pivot won't fucking work in this team. There's no defensive protection. He won't. He can't be. Bruno is many things, and he deserves a lot of plaudits, but he can't also become Rodri or prime Casemiro. He can't learn to pick up runners, make tackles, position himself like Michael Carrick. He can't do it. We're using Bruno Fernandes in a specialist position where when he's on the ball and doing well, Leicester have just scored against Forest with 10 minutes to go. What a goal. Yeah, look, Bruno defensively will be a problem in that system. I can't believe it. Rasmus has just missed a fucking open goal. Oh, it's just, today is just a fucking nightmare. An absolute fucking nightmare. I don't think I can do Arsenal, Liverpool. I really just don't think I can do it. Bruno's shooting from his own half. I mean, in fairness, if that's De Gea in goal, you'd say it's an absolute worldie, but the striker's got to score. You got to score. You got to put it low. It's a great save, but you got to put it low. You got to score that. If you watch it back, you've got to put it in the bottom corner. But keeper makes an amazing save. Amazing save. I mean, what? Well, look, he's got to score that. Why is Bruno shooting from his own fucking half? Really not our day, says Andre. Not going to lie, Mark. Really wary for this final. So much hangs in the balance. What are our chances? The chances of us winning the final, I think today is a really good example of why I've said I'm not doing any fucking banter with Spurs fans. I'm not doing any content. I'm not doing any interaction. I know a few Spurs fans, and I'm just not doing anything because it's not banter. It's not funny. The stakes are incredible, and there is. I said before the game, people are going, it's only Spurs. Man United fans are going, it's only Spurs. Arrogant. Absolutely fucking arrogant. Like, we are shit. They are shit. Maybe we will win. Maybe they will win. But the loser is in huge trouble. Andrew says, Bruno isn't effective in the pivot, can't join in the attack, enjoying Amadri watching this terrible game. I'm glad you're enjoying your Amadri, pal. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate all the super chats, of course. Rasmus into Amas, who refuses the cross again. He's got, you see, this is what happens with young players as well. I'm going to have to talk about this in the match reaction as well. How many crosses has Amas refused to do? Because we're burning youngsters again. Ahmad should have put the cross in. Mazraoui puts the cross in. Not good enough. They clear it away. 9 minutes to go. Garnacho. Crap cross. But Jamie, I've blocked you, pal. Unlucky. United Strand guy is going to need braids, says Parker. Would losing the Europa League be rock bottom? When does the torment end, says Crescents. Bruno looks lazy since the Saudi talk, says Lil Fox. Can you call Mohammed a prat for killing me on Minecraft, says Minhal. And Mark, take the afternoon off, mate. There's more to life than work, says Colin. I'm that close to not doing it, to be honest. For Bruno, was it 120 million or 120 pounds? Says Robert McCormack. Ooh, harsh stuff there. Harsh stuff there. Ahmad for Ericsson says it all. I agree. We might need a Melbeck every game, Mark, says Bram. I'll tell you what I haven't even opened it. I'm just going to have to open this now. I'm sorry. I might down this in one. Not all of it gone, but that'll kick in. Ericsson, shit. I'd call it a you know what? I actually think this has been a disgrace. I really do. I really do. I will definitely be unloading in the match reaction. Take 100 million for Bruno now, says Corey. This is the worst striker in our history, says I'm Madness. Yeah, but look, mate, you know. Oh my God, he's just missed an open goal. That was offside anyway. All I would say is I think Rasmus hasn't had the best of games, but we haven't got anybody else in the final. We're going to buy somebody in the summer. And where I really struggle with that type of agenda is that I'll happily give Rasmus a low score in the player ratings and you can vote for yours. But what you're saying about Bruno, what you're saying about Mainu, what you're saying about Shaw, you know, what you're saying about other players that have been, I mean, what's Mainu's excuse today? Are we just not going to talk about that one as well? What's Bruno's excuse today? There's just so many really bad performances today. And I think the big mistake we make is that we try and make it about one player. People were trying to make it about Agate when he came off. Like, there's just so many disgraceful performances today. And there's more than that as well. And I don't get it. I actually don't get it. I thought players would be buzzing about the final and eager to, you know, audition for that final. But look, maybe we don't play a striker in the final. You know, maybe we don't. I never thought I would say that, but maybe we don't. Maybe you put Bruno as a false nine. You play Garnacho and Ahmad in behind. But I think against Van der Ven and Romero, you need a bit of physicality. I certainly think if Xerxes was fit, he'd probably be playing. Joshua Lewis, thanks for your super chat. Who teaches them to sideways, backward stuff, says Ashish. They can clearly play forward based on the last 10 minutes. Why not always? Thanks, Ashish. This is the end for United. November, I give the manager till then, says Samuel. How does Amarim really turn this around next season, even with his own players, says Dara? I mean, look, the job is huge. Absolutely huge. Is it just me, or has Bruno regressed ever since the Saudi transfer news? Did something happen after or during that to shake him, or am I Pratt, says Ajit? No retreat, no agenda says, love it or hate it, this team is picked and determined around one player. It's up to 2 people to decide if that player is good enough to take us forward. They're on the attack again with Wan-Bissaka. Could have been 3 there. Mainly's been mainly poor, says Sal. Would United be in relegation trouble if the bottom 3 were not so... Yeah, of course we would, Harmon. I mean, I think 40 points would normally keep you up. I can't believe not. I also think it's disgusting that Mazraoui's played 90 minutes. That to me is really bad. Really bad. To publicly say a player is in the danger zone for fitness and then play him for 90 minutes in a game like this is stunning. It's just thoroughly depressing watching Man United this season, isn't it? I mean, look, I know in the Europa League we've had some good nights, but it's just. I find it hard to put it into words because we have this really big game a week on Wednesday and we have to try and remain positive. But I just think some of the performances today have been shocking. This is a mentality issue, says Constantine. The players willingly don't show up for league games, need to change the mentality. I can see the triangles Amarim is trying to play, says 92. Played a false 9 in the FA Cup final, says Curtis. Last 2 seasons have been awful in the league, says Mabeen. Be interested to see what Amarim has to say after this. He must be as perplexed as we all, because what the hell is this? I can't speak if I lose to Spurs as B16. I actually agree with you. I don't really. I think some of the game management by Amarim has been questionable, but I don't think you can send players out and, you know, expect this. I just want Southgate to get a job as well. I don't like the fact that Southgate's available. Make sure you're doing the player ratings, by the way. I know a lot of you are already registered, but if you want to do your player ratings, I'm going to be very interested to see. There's going to be a lot of low numbers today. I want to see what you think. I mean, I'd love to see who you think man of the match is. Scan the QR code, get yourself registered, and we're ready to go for that in a couple of minutes when this game is over. 6 minutes have been added on. Bring back Ten Hag just for the final, says Drummer. And let's just hope Sir Jim doesn't start thinking Potter is better than Amarim, says Move Maniac. Can you shout out Jamie Hunt, who had his stag party last night in Ireland? He's a huge United supporter, but he's Amarim out. Much love from James, Dave, and Jerry. United YouTube account. Thank you very much. LeBron says there's a reason why I'm the greatest athlete ever. How long since Garnacho beat a defender one-on-one, says KM100. Do you think Spurs or United deserve Champions League next season, says Eduardo? I don't actually think either of us deserve it. I mean, that's where Wenger's got his point wrong. Like, I don't think on the way that we've played, neither of us deserve it. but we qualified for the Europa League because they finished in 6th and we won the FA Cup. So we've got a right to qualify for it, but we're not very good. They only know counter or shoot from 50 yards, says SNS. Why even bother teaching the tactics to them? Just play Maguire from the start and chuck long balls at him. Yeah, we're very basic, really. Lots of empty seats. You can't blame that. Will Glazers sell when we get relegated next season, says James. Would you quit United stand if Southgate became manager, says B16. Great first season for Glinios, says Ginger Match. And Nicholas says the only positive is that we know who want to sell and keep. I'd rather play most of the youngsters from here on in. I'd be Southgate out from day one. Hamas puts the cross in and it gets chested back to the keeper. Fucking hell. Dear oh dear. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Oh, Bienda's just stopped it being 3-0. Foot save. Is this side worse than Chelsea 2 years ago, says Ronnie. I don't think Chelsea were this bad 2 years ago. Judge says the best we can do is stand behind our club, mate. Mate, 100%. You've got you know, that's what sets us all apart, isn't it? How we react to these sort of things. There is a really big game in a week, and I don't really know Lindelof. Fucking hell. I don't really know what. I don't really know what moaning and everything else about how shit some of our players really does do. But having said that, there is a responsibility. There are standards in a United shirt, and I think many of them fell short today for whatever explicable reason that is. I don't massively understand it. You know, if it's Arsenal rolling up to town in a title race, I get it. But this is West Ham. They were below us today. It's just not acceptable to, you know, put in a performance like this. Especially when some of these players are trying to play in the final. I mean, the amount of red seats is just incredible. Bring back De Gea for the finals is Ryan. We need more physical and technical players, says 92 Walters. Scott Treacher says, what the hell are they being coached? It's pants. And there's the final whistle. Manchester United beaten 2-0 by West Ham. Let's not also forget that Lenny Yoro is probably out for the season as well and out of the final. So not only have we lost the game, we've also got that to deal with as well. So yeah, we'll get some thoughts on that, of course, in the match reaction. Do your player ratings. If you go over to the match reaction, we've got the link in the video description there. You've got a couple of minutes to get yourself set up for that. And I will see you over there in a minute. Thanks everyone for watching. lots to talk about, and I'm not gonna, well, the title was disgrace, so I'm certainly not gonna hide behind what was a disgrace. We'll just have to dig into who was a disgrace. I'll see you over there in a minute.